Okay. Yeah, I get it. I've watched
Yeah.
Yoga Hosers maybe 5 times in the 10 years.
Really?
It just hit its 10-year anniversary. So every couple of years, I give it a chance. I'm like, maybe I'll like it this time. Okay. So here's what I boiled down to.
Hold on. Are you in an abusive relationship
Yep.
with yoga hosers?
With the view askew at all.
What's going on, everyone? I am Phil, along here with Joe.
Hey Phil, what's up, man? My son, who's now 15 years old, today he watched his very first Jay and Silent Bob movie. If everyone doesn't know, Jay and Silent Bob are characters from Clerks and Mallrats and everything. The first one I showed to him was Scream 3. Because, of course, they make that stupid cameo in Scream 3.
I
Yeah,
I don't remember them being in Scream 3.
for real? Did you not watch Scream 3 but once?
I I might own Scream 3.
Sure. It was around that time where we were buying everything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely possible. I'm pretty sure I own it too. But yeah, they're definitely in it. And that was, of course, the year where Jay and Silent Bob came out as well. The movie Jay and Silent
Strike
Bob
Back.
Strike Back came out. Yeah. And they were both Miramax films, and they were both on the lot together, and they both appeared in each other's movies. Like uh, Clive Barker is in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, just counting money. Just, just is it Clive Barker? No, who is it? Who does Scream?
Uh, Wes.
Wes Craven. I bet.
I
I beg
was
your
gonna
pardon.
say Wes Anderson, but that's a different movie.
Wes Anderson's in the back. Yeah, Wes Craven. If you Google Wes Craven and Jay and Silent Bob, something comes up because he's in that movie just counting a pile of money. Um, oh, wait, no, maybe that's Gus Van Sant that's counting the pile of money because they're like, Gus, they're talking about hunting season 2, and should we take this over again? And he's like, I don't care. He's just counting money. No, I want to say that Wes Craven is filming a Scream movie. Jay and Silent Bob are on the movie lot running around like maniacs,
Hmm.
and Shannon Doherty's in that fake Scream movie. That's what I want to say, but it's been a while. Anyway, my son saw his first Jay and Silent Bob movie, and it was Scream 3, which is not a great way to introduce them to the world,
So
to somebody.
it's been a while since I've seen Scream 3. Are they playing? Are they playing Jay and Silent Bob, or are they playing Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith?
They are 100% playing Jay and Silent Bob, and they are on a movie set lot because Scream 3 takes place on a movie set, like a studio lot. So they're taking
Yeah.
the studio tour, and they're being led through something, and they're like, the person is saying, this set's closed down, but if we go up here, you can see the old set for Seinfeld. And there's just a line of people taking the tour. And in that crowd are Jay and Silent Bob. I'm kind of like, I know they're coming, and I know that this is going to happen. And I'm kind of gauging my son to see if he picks up on it, because
Yeah.
they're just people there before they do speak. But before they get a chance to speak, my son says, I don't trust that guy in the trench coat. I swear to God. He says that. And I was like, why? Lots of cool people wear trench coats. And we paused it and had a conversation about like who is trustworthy that wears a trench coat. And the best we could do was Dick Tracy, who he didn't know who he was. Uh,
Yeah.
Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain. He didn't know who he was either. And obviously I'm a terrible parent because I'm showing my kids Scream 3 before Singing in the Rain. Um, and his contribution was Ben Grimm. Sometimes wears a trench coat, but he said people in trench coats are hiding something. They always have something to hide. And I said, actually, that's true of all 3 of those people, except maybe Dick Tracy. He's not hiding anything.
I mean, it's bright yellow. He's not hiding
Yeah,
anything.
he's not hiding anything. Yeah. He went to buy a raincoat and he's like, nah, I need people to be able to see me from space. put that put that black trench coat back. Bring me that bright yellow one. So they do come out. They progress, and they get cut off by somebody walking past. Oh, Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox's character, walks past them, and they say, "Oh, isn't that girl from that? Blah 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 blah." And she basically gives him the finger and keeps walking. But so they have a little moment, and I explained to my son, I was like, this is Jay and Silent Bob. They're significant pop culture figures. Like this is maybe a low point for them. Not because it's Scream 3, but because they had such a high in terms of like cool and credibility, and then they just kind of
I mean, I would argue that like that period is like the height of their visibility.
oh yeah, okay, sure, the height of their visibility, but the clear downfall of their credibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all excited for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back before we saw it.
100%. Yeah, before we saw it. That's the perfect way to put it. I love the Chance Bob movies. I love the Views universe, even for its faults as it has gone on and hasn't been as poignant or interesting or funny. Like it
Yeah.
definitely dips. I still have so much love for it because of what Kevin Smith built early on and like his hustle and just being a creator and just like getting stuff done, getting stories out. So I still have a very special place in my heart for these films, especially the early ones. So it is something I'd love to be able to share with my kids, but there's no way. Like that's the other thing. Like Scream 3 is the safest movie. That one movie that they're in where people get killed. That's the easiest movie to share with your child in the Jay and Silent Bob
I mean,
universe.
especially at this age. Like
Yeah,
I was thinking about that like as you were mentioning it, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know which movies are the like is Jersey Girl part of this universe?
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it does it take place in that world? Like or is it like a separate?
Are
'Cause I
Jay and
don't
Silent
know.
Bob, are they in that? I don't know if they're in that.
I don't think they're in it.
That's true. They might not be.
So Jersey Girl is like I think it's the only PG-13 movie that Kevin Smith had made up to that point.
Right.
So
It's also not really safe to show kids either. I don't know. It is kind of a family movie with F bombs. I don't know. It's been a
well,
while since I've explored Jersey Girl.
if Jersey Girl is PG-13, one F-bomb, one.
That's true. Huh.
If
So
that, I don't know. I haven't seen it in
maybe
a
it's just
while.
something you shouldn't share with your kids because it's not really successful in what it's trying to do. Or that's my nice way of saying that it's not especially great. Uh, I just keep thinking about Sweeney Todd. Is that weird? Like that they right. They do Sweeney Todd. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll rephrase it. Of the movies in the Kevin Smith film catalog that I would love to share with my children, I feel like there's not a lot that a parent should share with their kids. A parent should not be sitting through the Mallrats scene where he talks about how he farts, like when the girl's giving him head. Like that should not be shared with your child.
So, like, I imagine that if you wanted to introduce the Viewers universe to your children, and this is for anybody who is a parent who wants to share these movies with them, you wait till they're of age, and they just leave them out,
You just leave them
like,
out. Yeah.
on the counter somewhere, and they just walk away, and, like,
Yeah.
maybe they'll say, "What's this?" and then put it in and watch it, and they get to have their own experience, and you shared it with them.
Yes,
You're not watching it with them.
but they had their own experience with it.
Yeah.
You come into the room where they're sitting and watching TV. You just put it down on the coffee table and you give it a little, and then you walk away. Uh, and
I
then hope
like, in
they
my
watch it.
mind, it's like you accidentally left it there. You're coming in with a bunch of groceries, and you have, like, some DVDs in your hand, and they just slip out as you walk past.
So it's these best Kevin Smith movies that are the hardest to share with the kids because like I mean you have Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing
I
Amy,
see Amy.
all wonderful, all impossible to share with your children. Maybe Clerks. I can't. Only that, but the worst stuff in Clerks happens off screen, where she has sex with the dead body.
Yeah.
Everything bad happens. Even the stuff like the stuff they talk about isn't quite as bad as what happens in Mallrats or Chasing Amy's just heavier. But
Yeah.
anyway, um,
Oh, there
Dogma
is a part of
maybe.
the there is part of this Views universe that you can share with your children.
I was gonna get there. Yep.
Okay.
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
It's the Clerks cartoon.
absolutely. Clerks animated series is wonderful, and I that did occur to me, and I started to look to where it was streaming. I know I have the DVD copy somewhere. It's like on Daily Motion, or you can watch it in 4-second bursts on YouTube. But here's the thing about that: if you show them that first, does that take anything away from Clerks? Like, should the first experience be an unfettered Jason Mewes, or should it be like, should you get full like Kevin Smith dialogue, full the harshness of the films before then the cartoon sanitization of the animated series? Does showing the animated series first take away from what is the standard? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it takes away anything from the movies. It just it just paints a different picture.
It definitely does. Those are so fun though. I was bummed out we missed because I thought about taking him to. They had a marathon at Kevin Smith's movie theater in Red Bank, New Jersey, and we just weren't available that weekend. But if we were, that would have been such a great way. Just be like, hey, get in the car. We're gonna go watch something for a couple hours, and just not tell him.
Was it the animated series or
Yeah,
was
it
it
was the
the
full.
movies?
It was the
Okay.
full animated series. So how great would that be? Just 2 hours of just like that goofy ass cartoon. So I was looking for that streaming. I couldn't really find anything. What I did find really blew my socks off, though. Are you ready for this? There's a Clerks television show, live action. They filmed a pilot that never aired in 1995, in a period where we maybe were not aware of Clerks, but we would
Still,
soon be.
yeah, I that does sound familiar. Like, it was, like, more of, like, a sitcom thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few surprising things about it because I just watched it. Surprising thing, like primarily the surprising thing, there is no Jay and Silent Bob. Like, not just that there's not
I mean,
them,
that
like Kevin
tracks.
Smith and Jason Mewes. Yeah, that tracks. And you're like, oh, this is on TV? Yeah, the drug sellers are not there. There's not, like, they are not there, them, but not even representations of them. There is maybe one kind of squirrely kind of weirdo who tries to steal beers, who I think is played by Jenna Elfman's husband. I don't know why that's the thing in my brain, but so he might be a stand-in for them, but it's
Yeah.
not the same. It's not the same vibe. He's yeah, he's just kind of like a weirdo. The other thing, I mean, it stars a couple of people I don't know, and then Jim Brewer from Saturday Night Live plays
Is he Randall?
Randall. Yep,
Yeah.
and he's pretty good for that. He's pretty yeah. It is a hard watch. It's really difficult because it's not. It is very sitcom-y and it's super safe and it's super. It's it's the pilot, so it's a show that does not have its legs yet. It doesn't know its voice, even though it's based on
Yeah.
something that did know its voice. The real surprise, though, is that there's a girl in it who's in the opening scene and then comes back later and presumably could have been a recurring character
Mhm.
because she works at the tanning salon right next to the video store. And she was played by Kerry Russell in 1995. And if this show had been a hit, would we have even had a Felicity?
We would
Would
not have gotten Felicity, no.
no. So I mean, things you love have to fail so that things you love can then grow in their place, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a circle of life.
it's a circle life. But it was a really shock to see her and really weird to see because it wasn't even like if I told you it takes place in a convenience store, you would immediately picture the Clerks convenience store, but it wasn't that. It was more like like a super nice like like a set like a you worked at a 7-Eleven where it had like a center island where
Yeah.
you were in the command center, sort of like spinning around, but there was like aisles all around you. It was more like that. Um, I mean, because that makes more sense for a sitcom. But boy, oh boy, what a weird thing. And I wouldn't share that with my kid. But even though it's, because he'd be like, great, I don't ever want to watch anything Clerks related again. But
When he finally becomes of age and then is able to watch the movie, he's like, "I don't wanna watch that thing based off that terrible sitcom that we watched. Why would I wanna do that?"
wait, you mean it was based on something? So naturally they made it better, right? And that's worse? No, thank you. What's interesting is that the further you go down Kevin Smith's rabbit hole, I feel like it's actually more safer to watch. Like I would have no trouble showing him Tusk, which is the movie where someone gets turned into a walrus, or Yoga Hosers, which I rewatched a couple weeks ago. I would have no trouble showing him, even
I
though it's
could
not
not get into it.
okay. Yeah, I get it. I've watched
Yeah.
Yoga Hosers maybe 5 times in the 10 years.
Really?
It just hit its 10-year anniversary. So every couple of years, I give it a chance. I'm like, maybe I'll like it this time. Okay. So here's what I boiled down.
Hold on. Are you in an abusive relationship
Yep.
with yoga hosers?
With the view askew at all. Here's what I've learned about Yoga Hosers in this most recent rewatch. It's a good movie. The first half is pretty good. The two Colleens are very good. Um, Everything works up until a point. it's it, it, Kevin Smith himself plays these little potato monsters. Um, Once they show up, it becomes dead to me. Like it just doesn't cook anymore, and it changes from being this silly cartoony kind of movie into being just nonsense and like
Yeah.
funny to hit. It's one of those movies where you're watching it and you're like, I bet he had a really good time making this, and that's great. But it's not translating to me in this moment. But I've watched it 5 times, and there are parts of it I enjoy, and I'll watch it again, I'm sure. But what does it say about me that I'm more willing to share a scary movie with my kid than a movie that talks openly about, I mean, openly, graphically, and disrespectfully at times about, sex. So, well, what does that say about me?
Well, I mean, I think it says that you're a parent who doesn't want to think of your child as,
You know,
like any other parent, I think.
yeah. I hope it's normal, but I am okay with violence. Although at the same time, I'm like, if someone gets stabbed, I'm like, we don't do this, right? I've said that to him. I'm like, this is not appropriate, and I'll warn him. I'm like, now listen, someone's gonna get hurt here. Are you okay with that? But like, he's like, yes, I get it. Yeah, I'm still struggling with the sex versus violence debate, but I don't want. Yeah, I just don't want to share certain things. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very strange.
Yeah.
But anyway, how do you get your kids to watch Kevin Smith movies? I think you had the best answer for sure. Just leave it around. Just leave it around the house.
You put it in your DVD player and like you press play and then hit pause right away. So it's at the very beginning and then just
Right.
leave the remote out. And it's like, oh, I might as well just hit play and see what this
Yeah.
is.
Or whenever they walk in a room, just hit play and then hide the remote. And they're like, I want to. Can we watch anything else? I think I don't know. I'm just gonna put my headphones on.
Did I ever tell you
Anyway,
the time I saw Kevin Smith in Jersey? I mean, obviously we grew up in Jersey. Um so I mean not seeing him was not unusual. Like we've been to Red Bank a few times and we've been to like some of his events. So we've seen Kevin Smith in that context.
but running
Um
into him is strange. Like running into him in the wild.
Randomly, yes.
Yeah,
Um
I remember the
I
story. But please do tell.
I was so I was in college and it was the end of the school year. So like my dad had like come up and like picked me up and like packed up the car up with my stuff and then we were on our way back down. So we stopped at one of my favorite restaurants ever on the turnpike called Roy Rogers, which no longer exists by the way.
The way that
So
you structured that sentence, it made it sound like it's one of the restaurants you love ever on the turnpike. But it could
I
be
mean,
said that that's one of your favorite restaurants on the turnpike
period.
or anywhere. It's like if you saw it in the wild, you're like, ew. I don't eat there unless I'm driving 80 miles an hour right before I go.
Um but yeah, we had stopped to get some food like on the way back and we were eating there and like I'm eating my Roy Rogers cheeseburger, I guess. Um, and like I see like a guy walk in and he's got the beard, he's got a big beard and like he's kind of big and I was like, "Oh, that guy looks kind of familiar to me." Um, and then another guy, also big and beard and whatnot, but dark hair this time instead of blonde hair. And I was like, "Oh wait, I think that's Kevin Smith."
So was it Brian Johnson who
It was
walked
Brian
in
Johnson
first?
was the first guy,
Yeah.
yeah, and then Kevin Smith was the second guy who walked in, and I think there was a third person in there, but he did not. He didn't have a beard, so I don't
Yeah.
recognize him.
I don't know who you are, Beardo.
It could have
We
been
know
anyone,
Beardo.
but he went through the little like those essentially like a rope line.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
through the Roy Rogers, and you pick your sandwich off the heated like surfing places.
I
I don't
forgot
know.
they did it that way. I love a restaurant where you don't need to talk to anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like just like a regular person, he just walked through and grabbed his food, paid, and
They're
left,
just like us.
just like us.
And but you spoke to him, right?
No, I didn't speak to anyone at all.
Oh, in my memory, you talked to him and there was an exchange. Can I tell you that story?
Sure.
In my memory, you might have said this to him at a convention, now that I'm thinking about it. There was an exchange along the lines of you said, "Hey, we just drove out from New Jersey," because
Mhm.
he's also from New Jersey, so we're all Jersey fellas. So you said you drove that you and your group, which included all of us, just drove out from New Jersey to Chicago, and his response was something along the lines of, "Why didn't you just fly?" Or, "Why would you do that?" Um, does am I misremembering that? Did that actually happen, or
I mean, it could have happened because we probably like we used to drive out to Wizard World Chicago when it was still Wizard World Chicago, um, and there's a good chance he was there one of the times we
yeah,
went.
yeah, I would say so.
Um,
Uh,
was that the year that we tried to get into? Was it James Silent Bob Strike Back? Was that?
yeah, yeah,
And we did not get in.
I didn't for sure. Yeah, I was bummed because I was like, I skipped like he had a panel, he had like a Q and I skipped it so that I would be one of the first people in line for tickets to see the movie. But that's not how it worked. Um, so I was bummed out about that. But anyway, in my mind, when he said that to you, like, why didn't you just fly? Like, it was almost like he was disappointed in us for driving out. And as someone based on the movies he's made who like appreciates like romanticizing like adventure and like following your dreams, which is what we were doing. We were not just attending these things. We were I think the year after that we presented at the show for the next however many decades of years. um so we were building up to like following our dreams, and for him to say like, "Oh, you should just fly out," it sort of took some of the air out of like the adventure aspect of it to me.
Yeah,
Um, I didn't lose respect for him or anything, but it did kind of like I was like, "Oh, I wish he appreciated it." Not
yeah.
that not that he let me down. That sounds ridiculous. You know what I mean?
I mean, it sounds like it sounds like your mental image of him was different than his like the actual person.
Sure.
You thought he was going to appreciate the thing that that the thing that we did, and he didn't seem to.
No. And that's part of the demystification of Kevin Smith was a big deal for me. Like he was always like one of those figures for me that I was like, "Oh, he makes these great movies." And then he started podcasting, and you got to hear him speak about everything nonstop. Like if you listen to his podcasts, he had one every day, and he just would talk about anything that crossed his mind. And suddenly you realize, like, oh, he's just a dude.
He's
He's
just like us.
he's just like us. He goes through Roy Raj. He walks through the ropes. He also doesn't like to talk to people at restaurants. So yeah, so there was definitely a demystification process where I was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, where I did kind of like, I was like, I took a step back from liking his stuff for a while. I think
Yeah,
just overexposure, I think.
yeah.
I didn't mean for this to be a rag on, like me ragging on Kevin Smith. I'm still a big fan, and
No,
I'm
it's
always
fine.
still rooting for him to succeed.
Yeah. I was gonna say, um, so that convention was our last convention as fans. So, in a way, Kevin Smith is responsible for everything you see here, Digital Pimp as an organization. So you and I drove out to Chicago by ourselves the first time. It was like
Yeah.
late 90s.
Yeah.
And then like we went like for the next like I want to say like 4 or 5 years, and every year we added a person to the group. And I don't know if I ever told you this, but in my mind, every time we set off to the for the road trip, I was like, "Are we really doing this again?"
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I don't want to say I lost a little respect for you right now, but
but just a little bit.
a little bit, yeah.
It was just that like in my mind, um, it was something that we had already conquered. You know what I mean?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
And
Like, but
I
then,
was always looking for something else, something new, and I think it was Digital Pimp.
well, I didn't know that. If that's the case, then we could have driven further, bro. We could have gone to, I don't know. Chicago's pretty far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I so I've gone to Chicago at least once a year for the past, like, 20 plus years now.
You're like, I
Actually,
hate it.
it would probably be, like, 25 years now, honestly,
Yeah.
if we count the Wizard World Chicago's that we went to as fans.
Yeah, those were 1980. I think the first year was 1998. Almost coming up on 30 years.
Yeah. And, this is a good time to mention, I'll be at C2E2 at the end of March, so if you are one of our Chicago-based audience, or you will be in Chicago at the end of March, come on by. Come see us at C2E2.
Yeah. That worked out real great. I like that. Good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, have you guys seen the Kevin Smith movies? If you've watched this far, hopefully
I hope so.
some of this made sense because you've watched the Kevin Smith movies. Otherwise, why'd you watch this far?
And what's the best Kevin Smith movie to share with your child for the first time?
Yeah, if you were going to share a Kevin Smith movie with your child, how would you do it? Let us know in the comments below. How do you like my plan? Let me know. I don't have children, so I can't test this theory out. But if you like this, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And we'll catch you all in the next one.